For the final time here, Edinburgh, countdown with us in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who will be our Red Bull contested champions? Levin, Mini, take it away.
We are in the game. McEwan Hall, make some noise for game number 8. The players are ready. Jumping off the battle bus, a couple of them are about to land already. And Vico here will need to make sure this is the best drop of his life. Even if he ain't worried about being contested, he just wants to make sure everything is on point.
Everything has to go perfect, and unfortunately for him, that last game, it wasn't to be, but now it is the time. It is now or never for our top teams. Vortexes is one of them, of our top players, of course, here. Vico at this drop spot gets so much metal straight away, has the vehicle spawn right there as well. This is a perfect start for him, uncontested, unscathed so far.
Yeah, I spoke to his mum just before this game. I gave her a hug. She's so nervous. I'm sure she's struggling to even watch as it takes place. Because every single thing matters, every moment. You see Thomas HD here in his element, sniper rifle in hands. Never get tired of seeing this. Really connect to something. Really show us, give us a treat in this final game. Canada being very, very careful not to give anything up too easy.
I want to see it from Thomas, the big sniper. Mountain attack on the top of the leaderboard. He's more than capable, and we've seen him here all day. Even in the practice games yesterday, Aegis was landing on him. Now he has been uncontested all day, at least on that west side of the racetrack. Mustache, though, had a few issues off spawn here, namely from the X squeeze. Who now has, I believe, rotated away. Decided to land somewhere else, but saw him landing on the right in that last game. Maybe he's switched it up yet again, but for Mustache, he's more than happy in his current situation. Veno flexing the pickaxe, the FNCS champion of last season. He needs to pull out all the stops right now to make a comeback.
Again, Veno, look, he's had a day that's been up and down in terms of his emotional journey, but he's very much in the running to really secure a good placement here, currently in 4th place. And even if Vico's too far for him to catch up to, the other guys ahead of him are definitely going to be something you can reach out for. To think this is a guy who said to me earlier in the day, like after like game 3, he's like, I don't even care anymore, Levin. I'm just playing to play.
He's going to care now because it matters, and this is time. Sam, though, in a bit of a difficult situation, the igloo battles. Ooh, you can't actually get out of there, so a really difficult situation for the player that's inside, and oh no! That was a difficult one, and he's happy with it. Look at him, he's loving it. And I would be too. Oh, he's loving it a little bit less now because he's just got wasped, and he's on the defensive.
That was still pretty fun to see. Regardless of how this finishes for him, it looks like he is going to go down. It's Ziandi in his box. Ziandi takes him out. Unfortunate for El Jefe because he pulled out a pretty cool trick there. And Ziandi just going to rain on his parade. A nice little cleanup. That's been the story all day, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Third party galore.
It's the siphon. It's the lack of siphon. You don't get that instant 50 health and or shield, so you have to take that time to heal up, particularly when you're fighting against some of the best fighters in the world.
And the key is, these guys aren't going to give you that time to heal up, right?
Not.
They will not give you that time. They will just continue to pressure and pressure and pressure until it is too much for you to handle.
Texas, our players that is chasing down that first place spot. Just about 44 points behind going into this game, so he does need a solid one, and he needs Vico to not have quite as good of a day. Spy, though, saw him earlier on fighting against Tayson. Now he's fighting against Artskill. Hits a max damage, but it's not enough, and again, it's another third-party 11, and Artskill falls back to the lobby.
I wonder exactly how many times you've been watching a 1v1 where both players just go down within a minute of each other. It is such a common occurrence. And unfortunately, it takes place there once again on our screens. In the feed, Tayson going down to Mustache there. And that actually happened in a practice game yesterday, where Tayson got taken down by Mustache, and he was not very happy to say that he actually threatened to drop Mustache completely.
Wow.
So who knows whether that will be a duo we get to see anymore after that one.
It's the same as the Flixie situation earlier. I mean, what would Tayson do if he danced on your teammate? Soon to be former teammate. We know already now, making his presence known towards Mustache, who, of course, picking up the elimination onto Tayson. May have to back off a little bit, although he is in the advantageous position. Mustache just running away trying to make sure that he can stay alive in this game because he needs a good game as well.
Certainly does. Certainly does. No, Riley's going to do his best to try to stop that from happening completely.
Here's Scram right there. It's been taken out by iDrop.
That's been one of my favorite parts of today. When you hear somebody screaming, somebody shouting, I'm not sure if the people at home can hear it. You always just look at the feed to see who it is. I heard a big shout and then looked in the feed, it was Scram that went down.
Yep.
Not too happy about that one, but that will be the end of his run. I'm sure the Dane has tried his best. It hasn't been as good as this guy we've seen on our screen here, Bevy's. So impressive on the day. Unfortunately, it just slipped up in that last game, and that's made it a bit more of a wide open race. Coming into game number 8.
His ex-teammate though, Vortex is also pretty good. Interesting to see a duo so close to one another, all the way up on top of the leaderboard, an X duo I should say. Vortex is again using that vehicle. We've seen it so often today. Mona, we saw how sneaky he was against Nako in that last game. Can he make a repeat of it? It worked so well, why not?
I think we're spotting a pattern with Mona and his journey to success here. Sneaky beaky plays. He thinks he's here, but he's not there. He doesn't realize he's moved on, so he's gonna sneak around. This is kind of sad. I feel bad watching this because he has no clue. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna sneak in.
Oh, he's not there.
No one is there, my friend. You can go to the safe zone.
See, he can't see the joke. He's not there.
Look, that's true. It is true. He does not know. He doesn't have the vision we do.
Vico, though, all eyes on him going into this last game. He needs a big one.
Yeah, you saw the vehicle there just outside of the bush. He needs to make sure he keeps that intact. That is the key to his victory. The games where he struggled the most have been the games where he hasn't been able to use it. So he needs to make sure he's boxing that up, keeping it safe from anybody who tries to take shots at it.
Interesting why he didn't there, so maybe he's just confident that no one's going to know he's in the bush. Clement threats, a little bit of a standoff here. EU versus Solo versus Intrigued to see how this is going to go. Threats is playing a little bit more sneakily as well, but makes that reset to ensure that Clement doesn't jump straight in and just try to get some nice shots off, but it's not quite going to be enough to take the wall, or the roof I should say. This is really tough for Threats and Clement, but they are on the edge of the zone. It's not a bad place to fight them.
Not a bad place to fight at all. They'll have some time to really get to scrapping. There are players somewhat near them, though, so if they make too much noise, third party might roll through. We know that certainly is always a probability. And again, just a bit of a stalemate between these two. Both players just trying to catch the other one out. Sneakily, Threats looking to try get an angle. Even though he breaks up and gets that wall, Clement was not waiting on the other side.
I feel like we've seen this so often today as well. Players that have the Havoc pump going up against players that have the drum shotgun, it does just end in that stalemate because the Havoc shotgun person doesn't want to just jump in because they know what the other person has in their box, and of course the drum shotgun player doesn't want to be trying to play those angles, so it's almost a mismatch. It's oil and water. It doesn't quite work, and you can see that right now. But Vico on the defensive because he is getting attacked.
Oh no, Vico. Looks like for a second he's getting W keyed. And that is certainly not what he wants. He needs to keep his cool. That's Nako that's giving him problems. And it looks like his vehicle's been destroyed. And so even if he's able to come out on top of this is a thorn in his side. It's a disruption to the plan. He was going for this. Okay, no, his vehicle is still here. It was a different one that exploded, but he was going for that cash. And it does look like Nako's chilled off for a second. So if he's able to get this, that will definitely bode well for his chances in this game. We'll give him an upgrade of loot and some extra shields to work with. Those slurp juices are so necessary. He needs to just keep holding on though. Can't get too flustered. And there it is.
Huge moment for Vico right there. Getting that cash, particularly that legendary cash as well, is going to be so good for him. And Vortex is our second place player. He's picked up his first elimination of the game. Could it be the one of many?
Look, Vico trying to play things a bit slower. Doesn't want to overextend. Vortex, on the other hand, he understands the task on his hands. He knows he needs to get fraggy this game. He can't just sit back and let this game pass him by. Wants to fight for the cash, and he'll fight for it aggressively. Lovely stuff there from Vortex. Has really been in his element this day, and I think for him, regardless of how things end, What a tournament it's been. What a performance. And honestly, a big way to sort of catapult himself into the high echelon of top Fortnite players, especially in EU.
Such a bold player as well, going for that combat cash. Just shows how important it is to these players' games. A lot of you guys at home might be thinking, why are they fighting? They're at the top of the leaderboard. Do they need to fight for it? But the reward is worth the risk. It's Thomas HD right now. He's another player that wants to be trying to get up in terms of leaderboard standings. Has that vehicle inside of his box as well, so he's keeping his safe. So his HP's not looking too safe after Eclipse gets some damage onto him. Has the shield to heal back up though. It's an important game for Thomas, and it's difficult to know how you play in this situation because he's 5th going into this game. Do you W key, try and go for first place? Do you just hope that the players above you go down? It's a really awkward position to be in.
It is, right? I think if you're Thomas in this situation, you just play your best game. You don't necessarily go W key in and being overly aggressive, but you don't shy away from fights you typically would take. And you just hope you can remain high up here in the top 5. Oh dear! Oh. Bevy's just fallen in the feed. He's gone down to Ziandi. That was the 3rd place player. And so again, that leaves more space for the likes of Vino, for the likes of Thomas HD to start pushing up. And if you're Vortexes and Vico, you can almost sigh a bit of relief. You ain't got to look over your shoulders just as much anymore.
Yeah, maybe Vortex will switch up his game plan right now if he did see that. But look at this. It's Vico going against Vortex in the same sort of area. This could be the tournament if they do engage, but Vico decides, no thank you. That is not the fight that I want to be taking. I think Vortex is thinking the same as well. That almost turned sour. That almost could have been the fight for it.
Both of these players going against each other now would be absolutely huge. But it won't happen. Vico was just trying to find a better position, and Vortex ushered him there just a bit faster. But again, both of these players, their setups are certainly looking good and primed to have very good games.
Yeah, they both have that combat cash. Unfortunately for Thomas HD, he doesn't have the loot from that cash, so is that going to hurt him in the future? We'll have to wait and see. We know, of course, how good he can be at getting those refreshes. We've seen it throughout the day as well. Definitely one to look out for to move his way up on the leaderboard. Is Kylie, one of our game winners, always on the hunt for these mid-game rotations. He actually played with Vico
last season,
last FNCS. Didn't quite go as well though for them. New options as Vico catches his vehicle. Seems to be okay inside of Mega City. This is quite a nice place to box up a vehicle because there's very few line of sight, particularly when you're this close to the building.
Always going to be tough to box up your vehicle in a 2v1. It can get a bit awkward. So deeper in the game, you see players opt for 2x2s instead of 2x1s. Vino doesn't have a vehicle, but he does have the cash available to him.
I don't even think that was his cash. I think he just stumbled upon that. Yeah. So that's a really great thing for Vino right now, because he's going to gain from someone else's loss almost that they didn't actually pick up their cash. So Vino's like, you know what, I'll take that.
Yeah, don't mind if I do. Yeah. Some slurp juices will definitely be handy in his loadout. I think he probably drops the heavy sniper. See, just adjusting the glasses, making sure he's comfy as we head into the end of this game. It has to be a good one for Vino.
Oh!
That's how he picked up that of them. Okay, Vino. Maybe he won't drop the heavy sniper then. Maybe he wants to keep that in hand if he's hitting shots like that.
Keeping it in hand, I would be if I was hitting shots like that. But what do you drop in that situation? I think, realistically, I do agree with you there, 11. That's got to be the right play. He's got that Storm Surge sorted early on if it does even go to it. Thomas HD still with a sniper in his inventory as well. We saw how good he can be with it in previous tournaments as well. Vortexes again. We check up on him, have a little status check. Still alive, looking good. 143 builds, almost maximum for him. One elimination, he decides to make the rotate in. We'll see how he makes this rotation. This is a huge rotation for him, particularly once we know that Vico is already in the zone in Mega City, or even just maybe on the edge of it. So got to make this work.
The marathon continues. He makes his way into zone. You see where he's marked. Look to try and get out here just on this hill. Not too shabby of a position as well. And again, looking to make sure that vehicle is well protected in metal.
is the heavy sniper that Vino decides to drop for those 2 slurp juices.
It'll be good, right? Because it'll give him more potential to make plays in the storm. Pops a slurp, uses the chug cannon. He can stay in the storm a bit in the backside if he does need to pop off and frag out, which is always going to be a possibility.
Oh, yeah. Flapjack rifle as well. He's holding that. It was a question that I had at the beginning to show what player's going to carry. Is it going to be SMG? Is it going to be AR? And it looks as though, particularly in this last game, you know, looks
risky.
Playing it's Vico on his wall. Vico versus Veno. Just fends him off right now, does Vico. It's very good for him in this current situation. He needs to stay alive. He needs to stay healthy if he wants a chance of winning this.
That was very risky from Vino, the way he just sort of
drifted in there.
Yeah, he just carefree.
Pulling a China shop almost.
Would have been very unfortunate if somebody was just sitting in the box next to it. But he's fine. Thomas HD, one of the most well-renowned players in this lobby. Someone who I think everybody expected to perform well, and he certainly has. Vico, player who I said earlier in the day, look, people have been calling, I don't want to say we have not been calling him an up-and-comer, but people have been calling him an up-and-comer for like about a year now. How long can you be an up-and-comer, right? And I did say the up needs to come in. It certainly has. This would be a perfect crowning moment for him. If he could get this win today, it would solidify himself as one of the better players within the region, a player with some prestige. And especially after the FNCS season he just had, it would be brilliant for his confidence as well.
Huge for his confidence. He's always had the ability, it's the mental side of things that he will benefit so greatly from if he can. Even still, even if he doesn't come out on top today, a great performance for him, but for his confidence, I'm sure he'll want to win it, as does this man on the screen right now, Vortex. He's made a beautiful rotation into the zone. He's going to make another over this river. Is he going to follow Braxel right there, or is he going to decide to make his own path? He's on the dead side of zone. We've seen this before. We've seen it working out. He's got that chug cannon as well, which of course recharges the heals. He has unlimited HP in this situation. I like this position, trying to get as much damage as he can. 268 above right now, so in a bad position to be in at all. Trying to take advantage of Muzz right now. He's just rotating in those weaker walls. Just getting those little chip damages, which is always good.
See, this game is going to come to its close here in this mega city area. That's going to provide for a lot of chaos as we move in, through, and around all these different buildings. We'll see where this next zone pulls, though. This is going to matter quite a bit. Vico will certainly be praying he pulls in his favor. He needs everything to go his way here. 100 above right now.
Ooh. Pretty sure that's where Vortex is. He was on that side, so unless he's made a crazy rotation onto the other side, I think it's advantage Vortex right now. He is just outside of that next zone. Going to be a difficult rotation nevertheless, but seems like that is a more favorable pull for him.
See him there, just the nerves, it can start to get to you. You've got to stay locked in, though. You have to stay focused in this final game. And that's it, still alive and kicking. His dad said before the game he wanted to see Anas get a 20 moment. Doesn't look like it's going to be just that, but if he can get a decent win with some Victory Royales, that certainly would help in the standings. Vico making his way through, just casually driving through Mega City. And looking to ram his way into Axe Force as well along the way. The player hopped in, hopped out. He will continue his journey though.
He'll continue his journey and makes his way into the zone. Really nice rotation for him, but is he going to be safe as his vehicle is boxed up? He's taken that vehicle late on into the game and he's finding success so far, Levin. Can he continue? That's the question on everyone's mind.
It's going to be so hard for him. But he can make it happen if he can just play the way he has been playing in these games. Channel all that energy, all that excitement into these final moments. Everything is definitely within his reach. Vino, we obviously talked about how good his setup looks. And he's good on search as well. And he sits in a position way high up above everybody else. You can see a lot of the lobby and track a lot of their movements.
Well, our top players right now seem to be on the south side of the zone, so this next zone pull is going to be absolutely crucial in deciding on whether they have to get on their bike or just chill inside of their box. This is one of those zones where it is very, very difficult to actually pull. It does pull back in towards Mega City, so almost all of our top players right now are looking good.
Somebody's looking out for them. Well, Texas needing to pop one of the bigs along the way. But it's a worthy trade for his safety. You can see him just scouting out that next path, and he's going to choose to go right away. Doesn't want to wait. And he has a nice way to go as well, using this building to just block off basically the whole rest of the lobby. Going to break his way down into the garage as well. The car park, I should say. Mustache starting to make his way above, and you can see the intention for Mustache, very different from some of the other players a bit high up in the standings. He's maybe leaning towards a bit more of an aggressive play style, especially with that heavy sniper in hand.
Definitely, and this is where Mega City provides a few difficulties for some of our players. A lot of these buildings you can't actually break, you can't break through with anything. So it could make this endgame a little bit spicy. First touch in the box, trying to get another elimination, but no, it's Blake who takes him out.
Vortexes though, still alive, not getting into all the action himself, just going to watch from afar for now and see if there are any vulnerable players. He spotted something going on over there, but again, not opening up any edits as of now.
Blake goes down the feed there, so his journey is over. As Veno right now tries to find Vidil right now up on top of this building. He's getting aggressive, he's getting active, but no, he decides this is important. I need to stay alive as long as possible. Decides to try and drop down from the top of this building. This next zone pull again is going to be absolutely vital for him as he takes some damage from other players. It pulls more into Mega City, but someone jumps in the box. It's Axe Force, and Veno is out.
Typically, you expect to see Veno being the one to jump in so aggressively, but Axe Force caught him unawares. And it's so hard to deal with in those situations. We've seen that all day, and so that will be the end of the run for Veno. We're sitting nicely in the leaderboard, but you've got to think he'll start to drop now. There's still so many players alive. The placement points aren't going to be too good. You don't want to be going out now. You need to stay in the game just that bit longer. Vortexes, though, in staying in the game, has tried to avoid dealing as much damage as possible. Same could be said for Vico. These guys don't want to fight people, but they're going to have to start thinking about that. Vico just gliding his way through this zone right now, and he needs to find some sort of safety. Can't afford to stay out and open too long. You've got to think he'll get caught out, but he is looking for opportunities. Running into a box. A big 150. He does not miss those.
Vico is on fire, and Vortexes is trying to have his say too. What a refresh for Vico. Can it keep him afloat during this game? And Vortexes makes use of the gliding feature of this massive building in the middle of the city. This is really gonna, hopefully for him, keep him going this endgame without having to expend materials.
If I'm him, I'm gliding as high as I can, waiting for everyone beneath me to go down. And if there's one person he's gonna hope goes down, it's gonna be Vico, who's again continuing to just slide his way on through, hitting players as he goes about it. He spots another one, but isn't going to overcommit. He just keeps on hitting shots. He's on autopilot right now, but he doesn't seem to know how to miss.
He's definitely on autopilot. These grind rails are proving madness right now because nobody knows what's going on, nobody knows where they're going, and nobody has control. It's Vortex is on that mid-ground layer, doing very well as well. Vico down on low.
And as good as Vortex is doing to stay alive, he needs Vico to go down if there's any hope for him, and it might just happen here. Vico just getting out of the way. He got coned, but eventually was able to sneak his way on out and play in this zone. Needs to start getting back in though. There are players here. It's Kylie right in front of him. That's his former duo. He's going to hope he can do him a couple favors, gets back in the zone, and has some time to use some shields.
That med miss was so crucial for him right there, going back into the storm, getting into this position. He's still alive, he's still well, 28 builds to his name, as well as Vortex is still alive and kicking. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Vortex? Is it going to be Vico? We will find out very, very shortly as Vortex is on the aggressive. He's looking less good on the materials. 6 builds for him right now. He needs a refresh, and a refresh he might find if there's someone inside of his box. He actually just evades the attention of Vortex. Unfortunately for him, and he's not going to be able to get that refresh, but he does. It's another player.
He can't afford to let this game pass him by. Every single player that goes down before Vico just makes it so much harder for him to catch up. He needs to pop off and pop off now. All Vico has to do is continue to stay alive, and he's doing that so well. So good on HP. Well, Texas is struggling though. He needs to be careful. There's players on his wall trying to get in his face. He might go down. He will. And that just means Vico can continue to play this game.
And
It
Vico-
could be his victory lap. It's going to be so good for Vico. He doesn't know it yet, but that is everything he needed in this game.
Vico takes out Peppo there as well, which gets him another huge refresh. Nearly 500 metal right now for him, so he can just tarp his way to victory here in Edinburgh right now. This is incredible. Can he do it? He just has to ride the wave of success. I don't know if he knows it, but he should be on top.
This could be the game of his life. He'll have dreams about this one over and over again. There's a couple players now standing in his way, but it means so much for the Austrian. All he has to do is close things out. His biggest competitors are down. He's done so well all throughout today to beat them, to best them, and it looks like he's going to do it here again in game number 8, breaking into a box, hitting another shot. How many times has Vico done that today? It's notoriety that falls. He can continue to do it. There's 2 more players remaining. The spray comes from above. No builds remaining, and so he's going to have to pick up the play in the zone. He sees it coming. It's Vico's day. It's Vico's world. We're just living in it. Medmis comes out now. He's going back in the storm. Can he win this game? He's up against Cammy. He's done this fight before, but will he win this out? It's Vico.
Vico.
It is Vico. It is all Vico. Your Red Bull contested champion, Vico.
Incredible stuff from Vico. You can see just what that means to him. What a way to close out the day in first place with a Victory Royale.
It's time to make some more. 8 long games. Players from all over the world stood in his way. The first ever Red Bull contested champion is Vico!